We have Dotrath. Dotrath is white. So Dotrath needs a 4. So Dotrath is able to do a wound. Hey War Gamers, welcome back. Purple Druid here, and today we are going to do a dungeon delve featuring our Kal-Arath group who are going on the Druid Quest, which is the game development project we're working on. The Doughty adventurers have discovered the location of the tomb that they've been seeking, and here on the large-scale map, or small-scale map, I should say. These are 1 mile hexes, and then the smaller ones, which I don't know if you can see, are 0.2 miles. This larger hex here, this is 5 miles from flat to flat. And so we've been traveling along. We rolled up all of this terrain on our journey to the tomb, which is here. And now that they've reached it, we're going to be using the dungeon board game for the dungeon delving process. Going forward in the future, we are also going to use 4 Against Darkness. We are also going to use Axebane's Deck of Many Dungeons. So we're going to have some variety here, and we'll be learning and recording those lessons as we go. So let's go ahead without any further ado and get started. We have some figures here. Brundax the Mystic. We have Morpan the Historian. We have Lorgan the Warrior. And we have Dotrath the Explorer. And so these 4 adventurers have journeyed up here. There are a couple of men-at-arms, if you will, hirelings, that are waiting outside to keep an eye on things, the rest of the gear, that sort of stuff. And this group of adventurers has descended into the tomb in order to explore. So we are going to go ahead and start looking around. We will go ahead and use our Oracle dice. Based on those from Tales of Argosa, to determine what's going on and also generate some activities for the adventurers. All right, so now before we do get started, I do just want to go over, we are going to be using custom treasures that I made using the Kal-Arath treasure tables. The monsters that we encounter are going to be randomly selected. I drew 5 level 1 monsters. I drew 4 level 2 monsters and 1 level 3 monster. I do not know what these are. I haven't looked at them. They're going to be shuffled, and as we go around, no matter what the game says, like here it says 4th level Queen's Private Chamber, we're going to treat all of these rooms as the 1st level, and we will randomly select an area to be the level or the stairway down to the next level if there is one. So we'll wait and see what happens when the time comes for that. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We are going to randomly select directions for the dungeon delvers. So it looks like we can go this direction, we can go this direction, 3, 4, 5. No, that's not a direction. I can't go that way. So 1, 2, 3, 4 possible routes So let's go ahead and let me find a D8 here. All right. We'll roll a D8. This is 1. We have a 3. 1, 2, 3. They're going to go this direction. So Lorgan is going to lead the way. And when they reach this area, they can see that there's a door here. There's also a door here. And then the passage continues. Lorgan is going to listen at the door. And we're going to roll the oracle dice to see if he can hear anything. And I should have rolled the tiebreaker. There it is. No, he does not hear anything. So, should they go in and see what there is to see? Indeed. Let's open the door, and we're going to use the regular D&D rules for that. On a 1 or a 2, he'll be able to open the door without making any noise. He does not. So, they'll have to try it again. This time, Brundax and Dotraf will help. That will be able to open the door then on a 1 to 4. Okay, so they're able to bust the door open. Unfortunately, they do make noise, so we may need to roll for wandering monsters. And let's see if there is a monster in the room. No. In fact, there's nothing in the room. And just so you know, we have 2 faces here that have skulls. That will mean there's a monster. We have 2 faces that have suns. That will mean that there's a treasure only. And then we have 2 blank faces. That will mean that there's nothing in the room. So that's how we'll make our selection. So they move into this room. And there's nothing in here. So we're going to listen at the door there. Do they hear anything? If there's anything to hear, they would hear it, but they don't. There's nothing to hear. So they're going to come out. And now they've got 3 directions they can go. They're not going to go back here. So on a 1, 2, or 3, they're going to try this door. Okay. So we're going to go to this door. And once again, we'll listen at the door. Oh boy. It's undetermined if he can hear anything or not. So let's go ahead and try to open that door. And that's a 6. He's not able to open the door. Once again, they'll try to help out. They bash the door open. And what's inside? We have a monster. So we're going to go ahead and draw a monster card. And put that right here. We have giant rats. Lorgan is a warrior. His color is red. He has +1 damage reduction for his armor. He has armor of 1. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to be using the dungeon attack table, and we're going to add 1 to the score because that's like a 9 plus is a miss, no effect. So his armor is 1, and his special ability is +1 damage reduction. So we're going to move up this way. So first of all, Lorgan is going to fight the giant rats. And his color is red. He needs a 3+, and that's a 6. We forgot to roll how many. Let's roll how many rats are in there. Just 1. Okay. So the rats are going to be killed, but they do get to fight back. Everybody gets to fight. So we're going to roll on the monster table. They have an 11, which is missed. No problem. Lorgan is okay, and the rats have been defeated. Now, we need to find out if there is a treasure in this room. There is. We'll flip this over. D6 alchemical elixirs, worth 2d6 times 10 silver pennies each. Excellent. So, we're going to go ahead and roll 2. That'll be 2 alchemical elixirs. So we're going to take the alchemical elixirs, and we're going to put that on Lorgan's character sheet because there is a possibility here that he can be stunned if he's in combat and he can drop a treasure. So we'll put that there. Now, when we're in the room, we can see that there is another door. Do we want to go through that door, or shall we move in this direction? Let's roll a d6 and find out. 1, 2, or 3 means we're going to go through that door. All right, we are going to go through the door. So I'm going to hit pause for just a second to move the board for you. All right, there we go. So, Lorgan and Kal-Arath are going to open the door. They will be able to open that on a 1, 2, or 3, and they are able to open the door. Kal-Arath is going to push through and move through first. She moves down here to the intersection. We can see into this room. We can see there's a passage going north and a passage going south. So we'll go... Where's our D8? We'll go north on a 1 or a 2. We'll go south on a 7 or 8. So that's a 2. So we're going to go north. We're going to pass by here, and we're going to take a quick peek and see if there's anything in that room. There is not. So we'll continue to move northward. And once again, we find ourselves at a crossroads. This is a secret door. We're going to ignore secret doors for the time being because I haven't thought about how to deal with those. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. We're going to go west. And we'll come to this door. Kal-Arath is going to listen at the door. Does she hear anything? She does. All right, so there is something in that room. So let's go ahead and we're going to draw a monster card, put that in there. And now what's going to happen is if they're able to open the door on the first attempt, then there will be an equal battle. The monsters and the party will fight against each other. If they are not able to open it, they will not be able to surprise it. When they do get the door open, they'll actually be attacked first by the monsters. So Kal-Arath and Lorgan are going to try to open the door. They need a 1, 2, or 3. They get a 4. They're not able to open it. They try again. Again, a 4. They're not able to open it. Let's see if the monsters inside are going to try to force that door open. They do not. And let's see if the party decides to press the issue. They don't. They have decided that they are not going to try to bash that door down. It is simply too hard to open. So they're going to move on. At here, we have another intersection. 1, 2, 3. We'll try the door on a 3 or a 4. On a 5 or a 6, we'll go north. A 1. We're going to come down into this chamber. What is in this chamber? Nothing. And so let's move through the chamber and listen at this door right here. What is, do we hear anything? Yes, indeed. There is something in that room. We're going to put this card down. And once again, the 2 of them will try to open the door. They need a 1, 2, or 3. They bash the door in and discover some hobgoblins. How many hobgoblins are there? We have 6. All right, so the party is going to rush into the room. They need to fight 6 hobgoblins, and I should really have some tokens to represent those hobgoblins. Hang on. All right, so we're going to use this little tile to represent the room. Can you guys see that? That's not enough contrast, is there? Let's do it this way. Okay. And then we're going to have Dotrath, Lorgan, Brundax, and Morpan enter the room. We're going to use these little guys here for the hobgoblins. So, as I said, they're able to bash the door in and rush in, and so they're going to fight an equal combat. And I've got some dice here. I should really get some. You know what? I'm going to grab some dice later. The next time I do this, I'll grab the correct dice so we can do this properly, you know, green and white and what have you. I have the dice. It's not like that's a problem. All right, so first of all, we're just going to go up the line. We have Dotrath. Dotrath is white. So Dotrath needs a 4. So Dotrath is able to do a wound. So we're just going to lay this guy down. And then Lorgan will attack. He's got an 8. His color is red. He needs a 3. So Lorgan is able to do a wound. Brundax, his color is green. He needs to roll a 6 or higher. He's got a 7, so he's able to do a wound. And then the historian Morpan is also green. He needs a 6. He's able to do a wound. Now the monster's fighting back. We're just going to move our way around here. And starting with, there are 2 of them that are closest to Dotrath. So first of all, Dotrath has armor of 1, and her special ability as an explorer is to forage at advantage. So we're just going to move hers up 1, and that's a 7. We're going to bump that up to an 8. She is stunned, and we'll drop a treasure. So I don't have a stunned marker. Make a note. Make a note. I need colored dice, and I need a stun token. All right. The second hobgoblin is going to attack Dotrath, and that's a 7, also up to an 8. So she is doubly stunned. She can't get more than doubly stunned. So we're going to bounce that. Actually, her armor makes that an 8. We're going to pick it back down to a 7 because it's the second hit. She's not carrying any treasure, so she is just going to be stunned. Now, this one is going to attack Lorgan, and that's a 7, up to an 8, up to a 9. That's missed. The fourth one is going to be attacking Brundax, and he gets an 8. Brundax is not wearing any armor and doesn't have any special abilities. So Brundax is going to be stunned as well. And then finally there are 2. Actually, no, this one is going to attack Brundax, and this one's going to attack Morpan. So one more on Brundax. That's an 11. That's a miss. And then the next one is on Morpan. Again, not wearing any armor. That's an 8. He'll be stunned as well. So these 3 characters are stunned. That means that it's going to be up to Lorgan to fight the last 2. I'll take these off because these are dead. Lorgan will attack. That is a 6. Lorgan needs the red, so this hobgoblin is wounded. Everyone else is stunned. No one else can attack. The hobgoblin will either attack Morpan or Brundax. 1 to 3 is Morpan. Nope, it's going to be Brundax. Brundax is stunned. That's a 5. We're going to drop down to a 4 because he's stunned. We're going to drop a treasure. We're going to move 1 space away from the monster and lose a turn. So that is going to force Brundax out of the room. So we'll put him right there. Now, this one will get to fight back against Lorgan. And he gets a 3, which is pumped up to a 4 for the armor, and a 5. So he's going to drop his treasure, the 2 alchemical elixirs. He's going to drop that. Move 1 space away from the monster and lose a turn. So he's going to be forced out here. Now this one is taken out. The hobgoblin is down to his lonesome. We don't have any morale rules here. So that's something we need to think about. Make a note. Morale rules. All right. So this is round 3. We're going to say that they are not stunned any longer. Morpan and Dotraf will both attack this last hobgoblin, who will attack one of them in return. Morpan is green. He needs a 6. He's got it. Dotraf is white, needs a 4. She's got it. The hobgoblin on a 1 to 3 attacks Dotraf. Yes. And that's a 6. Dotraf has 1 armor. That's going to punch it up to a 7. Dotraf will be stunned, and this last hobgoblin is killed. So, we now have a situation where Brundax has a light wound. And then we need to move on along the dungeon here. Okay, so Morpan is going to pick up the elixirs that were on the ground. Next, we need to find out if there's a treasure in this room. There is not. So, let us continue our passage to the south. We come to another door. Dotraf will listen at the door. If there's something to hear, she will hear it. Is there a monster in this room? No. So she doesn't hear anything, and she and Lorgan will bash the door down. Nope. They bang against the door. It does not open. They bang against it a second time. It opens. They come into the room. Do we have a treasure or anything else? Yes, there is a treasure in this room. We'll draw 2d6 scrolls. These scrolls are worth d6 times 10 silver pennies each. Nice. So, we have 7 scrolls. And we're going to go ahead and Morpan will take those as well. So we'll come back out and we will continue along. Ooh, there's a very long passage here. So this is going to take us several turns. to reach the next door. We shall listen at the door. And we do hear something. Is there something in this room? Yes, there is. All right. Lorgan and Dotraf will bash the door open. No, they do not. Oh, no. They'll try it one more time. Oh, they're unable to open the door on the second turn. The second attempt. Oh, my goodness. All right. Are they going to try a third time? Yes. No, they're unable to crack the door open. Will the monsters open the door and come charging out? Yes. Oh, dear. Okay. We're going to have to fight in the corridor. What do we have? What kind of monsters? Ooh, more hobgoblins. All right. How many are there? 6. Ooh, again, 6 hobgoblins. All right. Now, the trick is, the door comes busting open, but the hobgoblins can only come out into the hallway 2 at a time. Oops, that's the wrong one. There it is. And so our battle is going to be a little bit lopsided here. The hobgoblins will attack. The white dice are against Lorgan. The red dice are against Dotraf. So a 4, 2 4s. All right. Lorgan has armor. That makes it a 5. He's got a +1 for his armor, which make it a 6. That's going to be a light wound. He's going to have to move 1 space back. That's going to drive them back. He will not be able to attack. The other one against Dotraf has a 4. Dotraf has 1 armor. That'll make it a 5. Again, another light wound and driven back. Unable to attack. This is not good. So now these are able to move out into the hallway and 2 more hobgoblins will come out. Now, they're able to fight 2 wide in the hallway. So Brundax is going to move up here, and Morpan will stay in the back. This hobgoblin will engage with Brundax, and now Dotraf will have 2 hobgoblins against her. Now, they're going to lose a turn. So Lorgan will be attacked by the hobgoblin first. He will not be able to attack back. That's a 6. His armor gives him a 7 and then an 8. He's going to be stunned, but he does not drop a treasure. I'm going to give him a little red die to indicate he's stunned. Brundax is attacked by a hobgoblin. That's an 11. That's a miss. Brundax will fight back with a 7. Brundax is green. The hobgoblins, he needs a 6. He's able to kill the hobgoblin. And Dotraf has to fight 2 hobgoblins, and she also has lose a turn. So they're both going to be able to attack her. One's an 11, that's a miss. The second one is a 5, that's bumped up to a 6. She's going to have a light wound, move back once more, and lose her next turn. So they're able to follow up. 2 more hobgoblins come out into the hallway. And we'll begin again. He was stunned. So his stun is going to last again through here. Yeah, we're going to do that for right now. So let's have the hobgoblins go ahead and attack versus Lorgan. That is going to be a 10, 11, 12. No, that's a miss. The second one against Brundax. That's a 4. Brundax is not wearing any armor. So, a wound, drop a treasure, move 1 space away and lose a turn. He's going to have to be pushed back. He's going to lose 1 turn. Let's use this die for that. He will not be able to fight back. Lorgan is stunned, will not be able to fight back. These 2 hobgoblins will both attack Wrath. And that is an 8, which is changed to a 9, so that's a miss. And then another 8, which is changed to a 9 for the armor, and that's another miss. So, she survives that round. This stun will come off. He's going to lose a turn, will not be able to attack. This hobgoblin is going to come up. This one is going to be the second one on Lorgan, who will be able to fight this turn. Hobgoblin versus Brundax, who cannot fight back. That's an 11. That's a miss. Hobgoblin versus Lorgan. 4, 5, 6. Again, light wound, driven back. That is now 2 light wounds on Lorgan. And I have not read in the dungeon rules if the light wounds stack up and become a serious wound. That's very interesting. So you know what? We're going to just keep it at light wound and go from there. So right now, Lorgan has 1. I'm sorry. Brundax has 1 light wound. Lorgan has 2 light wounds. And Dotraff has 1 light wound. Okay. This is getting ugly. If they survive this, they may need to head back out and heal up for a little bit. So, what do we got? Lost turn. He's going to get his turn back. She's going to get her turn back. So let's go ahead and roll for the heroes. Brundax gets a 7. Versus the hobgoblins, he needs a 6. So this hobgoblin is going to go down. Lorgan loses a turn. These 2 hobgoblins are going to be able to attack him. Let's roll for that. We have a 5 and an 8. 5, 6, 7. Stunned. Drop a treasure. 8, 9, 10. Missed. So he is now stunned and will not get to fight back. Here, she lost her turn last time. So she'll get to attack. Dotraff has the white. She needs a 4. She's got a 6. She's going to take 1 out. But the 2 of them will both get to attack back, which is an 8, bumped up to a 9 for her armor, and a 10 bumped up to an 11. So she does not take any more wounds. And these 2 hobgoblins will take off as casualties. Now we're around, what are we on, round 4? We're going to take off the stun. We are also going to, he's back again, so he can now use his attack. Brundax is going to step forward and fight that hobgoblin. So, Brundax versus the hobgoblin. That's a 5. His color is green. He needs a 6. That's going to be a miss. Hobgoblin versus Brundax is a 4. One more light wound. Pushed back. Lose a turn. I really need to lose a turn. Token. All right. How are we doing on time? Good. All right. Lorgan is red. He needs a 3+. He gets it. That hobgoblin is going to die. The hobgoblin rolls a 12. That's a miss. So that hobgoblin is removed as a casualty. And then over here, we have Dotraff. The white dice for Dotraff. She gets an 11. Her color is white. She needs a 4. She's going to take out this hobgoblin. The hobgoblin rolls a 7. It's bumped up to an 8. And so she's going to be stunned. But she's able to defeat this hobgoblin. Now, for the next turn, Lorgan and Brundax will both be fighting. Actually, no. Lorgan just got wounded, so he's lost a turn. He's not going to be able to fight back. So, the hobgoblin is going to attack Brundax. That's an 8. Stunned. Ugh. Not going to be able to fight back anyway because he lost a turn. Lorgan gets a 9. Lorgan is a red. He needs a 3. So this hobgoblin will become a casualty. Did I roll for the hobgoblin's attack already? Shoot, I don't remember. I should get activation markers too. Anyway, let's see if the hobgoblin does. That's a 5 against Brundax. Another light wound. All right, we are definitely... Okay, sorry about that. We had a little bit of a technical issue there. So I finished that battle without the camera running. So what we determined was that the group, being as they were so badly wounded, they decided that discretion was the better part of valor, and they have decided to withdraw from the dungeon. They do have 3 treasures, alchemical elixirs, rare spices, and some scrolls. Now, Morpan, the historian, was looking for scrolls, so this is actually fairly beneficial, because what will happen is while they're resting and healing, Morpan is going to research these scrolls and find out if they have the information that he is looking for. Now, while we are playing, one of the fun things about play tests is that you find out the pieces of the rules that are missing. And one of the things that I determined was that I need some tokens. And so I made some tokens here. These are, I believe, 5/8 inch blank counters. And so I made some tokens for serious wounds. We're going to use dice for light wounds. Actually, maybe I'll flip these over. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I'll flip them over. We'll have light wounds on one side and serious wounds on the other side. I have some stunned tokens. I have lose a turn tokens. And then I have some trap tokens. I decided that we needed to have some traps in here just to make things a little more fun. The way the traps will work is when you cross a trap token, you'll roll a 6-sided die, and on a 1 or a 2, it will go off. And so what we're going to have is 3 different dart traps, which will cause a light wound, a blade trap, which will cause a serious wound, 2 cage traps, which are part of the official dungeon rules. The cage trap, you roll a d6. On a 1 to 3, you lose 1 turn. On a 4 to 5, you'll lose 2 turns. And on a 6, you will lose 3 turns. And then we'll also have 2 slide traps. The slides will take you down 1 level and deposit you in a random room. And so I think what we'll do is when we run into a slide trap, we'll slide the party down. We'll throw a die, or we'll throw something on the board to select a room for them to be in. What else here? We're going to create some morale rules, and what we'll do is when there are multiple creatures in a room, their morale will be 6 plus their level, and you'll need to roll under. So once they hit half a 50% casualty mark, they'll have to make a morale check. We're going to use small red dice to indicate that different figures have been activated. We'll use small white dice, as I said, to be light wounds. And when we get to 3, that will be a serious wound. And then once you get a serious wound, that'll be -2 to all of your rolls. Various monsters will take 1 wound per level. So if you hit a level 2 monster, they'll need to take 2 wounds. And the rules for secret doors: when we come to a secret door, like you see here, can you see that? Here we go. There's one right here. That's a dashed line. When you see a secret door, we'll roll a die. On a 1 or a 2, they'll notice it. Otherwise, you're just going to walk right on past. And then you'll search for the mechanism. The first turn, you'll find it on a 1 or a 2. The second turn, a 1, 2, or 3. The third turn, 1, 2, 3, or 4. And if you stay there for 4 turns, you'll be able to open the door automatically. Now, we are also going to create wandering monster rolls. And while you're searching for the mechanism for a secret door, we'll roll a d6 every turn to see if there's a wandering monster. Otherwise, we'll roll a d6 every other turn while you're moving about. And I believe that is all we have for this episode. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Be sure and hit like and subscribe. And, tune in for the further adventures of our little adventuring party. Have a great day and keep on gaming.